Hey, hello, welcome to my podcast, Tor Noob. This is episode 0 of what will be a very awkward and amateur series of videos and audio files, designed to guide one into the wacky and mildly complicated world of the game Star Wars: The Old Republic. My name is Jin, and you'll generally find me on any non-PvP server as a red Twi'lek, body type 4, whose name is some variation of Badonkadonk. I refuse to take this game seriously, you see. I'm calling this episode 0 because I always do this when I start a new podcast. I make a recording that introduces myself and discusses a bit about what the podcast will be about. I upload the thing, and then I get the subscription links worked out. It turns out that you need to have one episode out there before iTunes and such things can pick up the podcast. Anyway, this episode will be a bit different than the rest, so don't make a decision about this goofy thing just yet. I'm going to be very informal and babbly here, but hopefully it won't be too long. I go by the name Jin in most online places, so I'll go with that. I'm not a gamer by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, I enjoy the things, but I don't love the things. My first MMO was Asheron's Call back in 2003, and I've noodled around casually with various MMOs since, such as Flife, Fiesta Online, and World of Warcraft. My gaming buddy of the last decade disappeared offline sometime a couple years ago, and he came up for air in May of last year to let me know that he had forgotten to log into the chat program we blabble in, because he was completely distracted by this game he was playing. That game was SWTOR. When he mentioned that there was a free-to-play option, I went ahead and downloaded the game client, I made my first character, and we went wandering around Tython for a bit. After 11 levels, I realized how much fun I was having, I subscribed, and I have been logged in nearly daily since. Because I'm an altaholic, I unlocked all 22 available character slots, I made all sorts of different characters in different classes, and I did all the things. Sometimes I redid all the things by deleting a character and starting over. I would re-roll a character because I didn't play the old character very often, or I wanted to try something else, or make different choices. Doing this over and over has made me very experienced in the newbie content, doing quests efficiently and leveling fairly quickly. The other week I was leveling yet another Jedi Consular when I wondered what it would look like if I were live streaming my progress, and I began narrating it as if I were. This mental image was really fun to me, and the idea of this podcast came from that. There are other podcasts out there that delve deeply into the endgame and veteran content. There are those podcasters who specialize in PvP, those who have more than one level 55 character, and those who share meta information about the game developers and the Star Wars franchise. I realized that there isn't a podcast that focuses on the content that newer players might not know about SWTOR. I wanted to entice people to try the game, pointing out those things that I personally find interesting and perhaps acting like a gateway drug to those existing better podcasts. I am using a crappy microphone in a noisy room with a window overlooking a major freeway, so this is by no means a professional setup. I'm just a person who does a thing, and I thought other people might be interested. My gameplay focuses solely on PvE content, class quests, and planetary missions. I don't do PvP, I don't do heroics, and I rarely do things with other players, such as flashpoints or ops, because I'm quite amused by the simpler stuff. The two game mechanics that drew me in at first and keep me playing now are the companions and the crew skills. I love soloing things, and the companions are quite enjoyable. With the companions, I always have a gaming buddy to do things with. My gaming style won't seem fun to everyone, and that's the wonderful thing about this game. You can level doing only PvP content, you can join groups and guilds and experience difficult things, or you can casually log in and do things when there's a spare moment, like I do. So that's probably enough babbling about me. If you're a fan of Star Wars, if you've been looking for a game to invest your time in, if you're looking for an excuse to wield a lightsaber or shoot a blaster, if you're a fan of the cyberpunk or futuristic science fiction genre, I hope you'll try out this game. It takes place roughly 3,600 years before the events that resulted in the destruction of the first Death Star. There are two factions in much the same way as World of Warcraft is set up, and you don't have to know much about the game before logging in and doing stuff. The franchise is really rich on lore and variety. The game is story-driven, with each class having its own self-contained quest series, and the cutscenes and dialogue options are sometimes really funny and, well, sometimes really disturbing. And then you gain companions along the way, each unique with their own motivations and storylines. There isn't really much more for me to cover in this inaugural episode, so I'm going to go ahead and finish up. You can find show notes, downloads, links, and all the useful things at tornoob.com. This is a brand new podcast, so I'm still figuring stuff out, but I hope you'll stick around. I expect I'll be doing episodes every couple of weeks, and more often if real life allows. I will finish up with a request. If you're new to this game, if you plan on downloading and playing it for the first time, do me a favor and visit tornoob.com/ref. Tornoob, TORNOOB.com/ref, REF, and click yes to my referral link. This unlocks a nice thing for me and it gives you some spiffy items as well. In the next episode, I'll go over things that are handy to know before you ever log into the game for the first time. You have been listening to Tor Noob, Episode 0, recorded June 12th, 2014. My name is Jin, and remember, if it glows blue, go ahead and right-click on it. Thanks for listening.